in this, to be trapped in this particular river. Also, important to note here that the river was not very deep. It was the boulders, the stones that, that actually led to a lot of injuries also. And given the fact that the bridge was at some 15 feet high from that particular river. So the visuals also, very, very disturbing visuals coming in at this point. The visual on your screens right now is that very moment when the bridge collapsed. Also, the capacity of the bridge, as I mentioned, was maximum of 150, but 675 tickets were sold. Not just this, no certification was issued, but still public was allowed on the bridge. The renovated bridge opened on 26th October, which is precisely 5 days ago. And just 5 days after the bridge opened, this tragedy unfolded. It collapsed within 5 days' time. So what is very, very terrible and very unfortunate is that it had been just 5 days that the bridge was open, and all of this tragedy happened just nearly 5 days when the bridge opened. The bridge that was meant for moving crowds, but tickets exceeded capacity that were sold. So the visual that we are putting on our screens is from that very moment when you see over 400 people . Well, the visual on your screens right now is from that very moment when the bridge collapsed. It had a high footfall of over 400 people, even as the capacity, as I mentioned, was between 100 to 150. 675 tickets were sold, which were priced roughly at around 17 rupees per ticket. And the bridge that was meant for moving crowds, but tickets exceeded the capacity that was sold. In fact, the visual on your screen shows the long line of people on the bridge, the crowds that are seen atop the bridge in Morbi. At around 7 p.m. it collapsed and split and fell apart, where people fell into water. Several were injured. And we have our executive editor Ishwarya for Politics, Ishwarya Kapoor, also joining us. Ishwarya, if I can get an update from you, we understand that the death toll has risen, of course, over 130. Give us all those updates you're picking up.
Well, absolutely. It's a very, very huge number. Even the Prime Minister commenting on this tragedy. But this very visual about which you were talking, you look at this man, and I'm just going to request our tech team to once again play this video in slow-mo soon enough for our viewers. Samiksha, look at this video. More than 400 people first, where only in nothing more than 50, 60, max 100 people should have been there, but more than 400 people. And look at this man in a white shirt. Look at this man in this white shirt, and I repeat, the white shirt. He will hold both the sides of the bridge, and then he starts shaking it. And then he starts shaking it. What is he doing? And just seconds after, everything is gone. The bridge falls down. An individual who is on the bridge, he himself falls down, but is trying to shake the bridge. So, you see the reality. You see this. My video journalist is just trying to show you from our newsroom. Just play this video slow-mo if we can. 400 people, they are just laughing, sitting around. But this individual in a white shirt and black trousers comes up, shakes, holds both sides of the bridge, and just seconds after that, the whole bridge comes falling down. And now it has been caught on camera on the CCTV footage. This itself shows that what was happening. There was no checks. Even if that individual was doing it just for a, I don't know, thrill or something, but the bridge fell down at that very moment. Was it a coincidence? See this. He holds the bridge from both the sides and then starts shaking it. And that is why this is going to be a very, very important part, significant part of the evidence for the whole SIT, for the 50-odd teams which have been found, that what exactly went wrong. First is for sure that how 400 people were allowed. You see, beyond this, it's jam-packed. And then suddenly this man in a white shirt, black trousers come, hold the bridge from both sides, you see, starts shaking it like crazy, and then it all comes down. At that very moment, it's very alarming. More than 130 people are dead in Morbi because there was no security check. There were no security checks. We are reporting from ground zero. There were no security checks. There was no crowd control. There was no crowd management. The company who was responsible. We have Shavan with us also. Shavan, I'm just showing our viewers this visual of that very last moment and this individual in the white shirt and black trousers, how he holds the bridge from both sides and everything comes falling down, Shavan. It raises a lot of questions, but this video is going to be of utmost importance for the investigative team. Shavan, back to you. Shavan.
Well, Aishwarya, I would say that just one aspect. Yes, there is already an attempt that is being made by those in authorities to try and put the blame on the people who are on the bridge simply because they were swaying the bridge. Now, is that really enough for a bridge that has been recently renovated? Can this blame be put on the people for swaying the bridge and bringing it down? The bigger question here is the fact. That over 600 tickets were actually sold. This particular bridge's load capacity was only about 100 to 150. Look at the amount of people who were there, who were present. So rather than just putting the blame on the people by simply saying that the bridge was swaying from one end to the other, and that's the reason why the bridge has collapsed, I think so it would be, it would be foolhardiness on the part of the authorities at this point in time without looking inwards and finding out why exactly were over 600 tickets that were sold at one go, and more importantly, even about 100 and 150, Aishwarya, they are moving crowd. The crowd cannot particularly stand on the bridge, and as you were rightly pointing out, there was absolutely no crowd management that was taking place. And just to put this into perspective, it is the holiday season in Gujarat, soon after the Gujarati New Year and post-Diwali. The fact of the matter is that these are areas which are largely touted as tourist attractions. In fact, if you go by the Gujarat government's tourism website, they have touted this British-era bridge as one of their tourist attractions. So it is inevitable that people would be coming, and this connects some of the major areas in the Morbi district itself. So the fact of the matter is that the local administration, which includes the municipal corporation, which includes the company which is responsible for the upkeep of this bridge, and the third aspect is the very responsibility of the police. These are the three aspects that one has to look into, rather than simply saying that, look here, this man was swaying the bridge and that's the reason why.
My point is only this much, and it's very, it is up to the investigative agencies, Shavan, to find out, as you are correctly saying. Yeah. No, Shavan, my only point is this, as you said, no crowd management, no security checks, even if, and correctly saying, even if that individual is seen shaking the bridge, is that enough to bring a whole bridge down? How were 600 tickets allowed? Was it greed? But now the Chief Minister is there, the Home Minister is there, the local MLA is there, who was seen. But what action is being taken? What action is being taken, and who is responsible? Was it greed? Was it being pushed by the local was it being pushed by the local politicians? What all? Because 132 people are dead, Shavan. That is the official figure. We are sticking to the official figure. 132 people, Shavan.
Well, there's, in fact, there's absolutely no doubt about the fact that this is a colossal, mistake on the part of the authorities, because, I'm just reading out a message that I've actually got from a technical expert, especially engineers who've had a better idea of bridges like this. This is a cable bridge. There's a tensile strength that it has, and there is a load limit that is posted on such bridges. In fact, it turns out that these structures have a 2 to 2.5 factor of safety for static loads. It appears that there is about 700 over people who are present there. It basically, what they call in the technical expert language, it causes resonance which may have been cause of the collapse due to unusually large displacements of critical structural components. Now, let me just try and simplify this for our viewers. What does this essentially mean? Now, every bridge suspended by cables, it has a certain limit, and that load factor, it seems, was breached by the very fact that tickets were sold more than the load capacity. As of now, the number is roughly about 675. This could very well go up because, Aishwarya, I was just going through some of the local, networks. who've been reporting on the story.
I know,
There have been
I know,
reports
Shravan,
that have
you're
been
right.
suggesting that the number could
We
very
really
well go up. So there is
wait
no
for the
clarity.
higher
There is
numbers.
no
We really
clarity
don't
right
want
now.
that.
We are being told
Yeah.
670. It could be way more than that.
No, but the irony is, Shravan, while you are giving us the technical part and you are telling us the whole physics about it, which the local administration, the state government and the company which was taking care, all three combined should have been looking at. The politics, the political slugfest has already begun. The BJP is putting on the AAP is raising question on the state government while the dead bodies are still being recovered. So the political slugfest is on while this latest video, which we are just showing, has just come out, Shravan.